Hi, I just wanted to say hello, America, and I had a thought that I wanted to share with you real quick. From a birther standpoint, of course, I see Trump as one very smart porcupine attacking Cruz via public court of public opinion. Trump is using the ammo he knows best, and which he commands in a big public trial of Cruz. Trump is avoiding the legal courts because they are less predictable, and a loss in court hurts him officially right now much more than talking points do. This is kind of the magic mojo of affecting courts without being in them. Of course, a lot of people are correct. CRJ here has nowhere near the magic mojo that Trump does in the public court. Of course, the justices of the U.S. Supreme Court, Golf Court, can only look from afar as Trump makes policy a reality in the public court. This is, of course, the way of the world. My heart has been that justice would flow down from the court in a constitutional stand recognized by everyone rather than tabloid constitution that Trump has command over. If the court had taken the courage on my case, Judy versus Obama, 1493-96, in either direction it saw fit, that would be strikingly affecting the conversation right now in a different way. You say I'm whining, but isn't that all you're doing about Trump right now, is whining? The justices of the U.S. Supreme Court had it in the palm of their hand to make a declarative judgment and a ruling opinion on the natural-born citizen question, with a de facto president in the White House as U.S. president. Anti-birthers could not ask for a better strike off of a tee to hit a monster booming drive out 350 yards that Trump would have been diminished by credibly. They just refused to tee it up, which is why Democrat U.S. Representative Nancy Pelosi and Republican U.S. Senator John McCain are still out stirring up the mud, stating the principle is not settled. Do you think it's better for the country to wait for two major candidates to be divided in a 49-51 split on the popular vote and have the 49% walk into the U.S. Supreme Court trying to dismiss the 51% based on not being a natural-born citizen? Or use the gift of some cowboy in Utah to put a brand on the natural-born citizen interpretation in Judy versus Obama, 1493-96, so the country could laugh at a loser like me and come together in a united way for a future election with a much greater understanding of for all the government officials involved. Now, if you're a dedicated national socialist, I can hardly comprehend with Obama in the White House for 7 years not saying, you betcha, we would love to ride that horse. You have the total advantage. But you're looking at the tiny little picture that for some really stupid reason involves the top ego, involves the ego here of the loser. If you wanted to form a more ludicrous, sunk argument, you could not do it. It has all and every advantage for you, anti-birthers. Like a fine meal on a silver platter. How on God's green earth do you refuse that unless you're much more stupid than Trump is? The only thing I can consider is in your hearts you are scared that you're wrong. That's the only thing I can think of. I'm not sure any lawyer with half a brain would not leap for the case as a slam dunk for what Hillary calls progressive Democrats, a change that is sought. But Hillary Clinton just is not that brilliant of a lawyer. And avoiding the whim seems to be her knack. She will lose to Trump, and the SCOTUS has delegated respect to Trump by refusing my case, which was dismissed based on denying a motion for forma pauperis. It was not dismissed based on Rule 39.8, if you want to get technical. It was just denied. And in the same year, the forma pauperis form is for a whole year, and the district court granted it. So did the 10th Circuit in Denver. When they looked at the case, they granted it. So there's absolutely no reason why the U.S. Supreme Court, any good behavior reason, should have denied my case. In fact, it stands as a mathematical equation. It's just it represents bad behavior. And that's the kind of attention that the three branches of our government does not want to attract. Let the people enjoy their lives. Uphold the Constitution. That's what I'm talking about. So enjoy this article, because it represents the American people waking up and throwing a little pie in the sky at the U.S. Supreme Court. Because they missed an opportunity big time. Whether you're an anti-birther, whether you're a birther, my case represented America's best chance at getting a professional opinion. And that's what the U.S. Supreme Court job is for. You see U.S. Representative McCain say, I'm the constitutional scholar. And you see Nancy Pelosi say, well, it's kind of an open-ended question. It wouldn't be open-ended if the Supreme Court just looked at it, and it would be much more favorable in America's future if they looked at it with a candidate, myself, versus Barack Obama, de facto president in the White House, who you think is going to win. But if they looked at that without an election hanging in the balance, as would be the case if, say, Ted Cruz got in there and Hillary Clinton lost by 2%, and then walked into the U.S. Supreme Court and said, I want a decision. That's going to tear the country up. For CRJ today, for a better America tomorrow. Thank you, America.